Commentary Booth is a show for media lovers by media lovers just like you. If you want to support the show, go to pariomagazine.com.au. Welcome to the Commentary Booth, where we watch and, you guessed it, commentate on the week that was in movies and TV. My name is Jamie Apps, and each week on the Commentary Booth, we scour through the world of movies and TV to help you narrow down your next viewing treat. Typically, I would be joined by a rotating cast of co-hosts to help me find these hidden gems. However, this week I'm flying solo as I bring you a review of the upcoming film Sissy, which will have its Australian premiere at this year's Sydney Film Festival. As part of this special episode, I was also given the opportunity to chat with one of the stars and producers of the film, Emily de Margheriti. We will get to that after we review the movie. So, Sissy is a 2022 dark comedy horror thriller. It's written and directed by Hannah Barlow and Kane Senes, starring Aisha D, Hannah Barlow, Emily de Margheriti, Daniel Monks, Yerin Ha, and Lucy Barrett. In today's society, social media influencers have become a huge part of our culture. For these people, the number of followers, likes, shares, and viewers are hot commodities and potentially very big business. So it's no surprise that horror films, which have always done a great job of satirizing the worst of society, have begun to delve into influencer culture as a source for their horror and thrills. Australian film Sissy does this by following Cecilia, played by Aisha D, better known as Sissy to her followers. In the film, Sissy is invited to a hen's party for her childhood friend. However, as the weekend begins, Sissy quickly realizes that she will also be spending the entire weekend with her childhood bully Alex. It's at this moment that the tension begins to rise as the group spend a full weekend in a remote cabin in the mountains. Eventually, this tension reaches a breaking point and murderous mayhem ensues, as the audience is left asking, who was really the bad guy in this situation? Each of the characters in Sissy has a vital role in the story and the commentary on social media fame. Obviously, at the core of the story is Cecilia, who is at times an incredibly sad character who is just desperate to fit in. This trait highlights the perils of social media addiction and the craving for likes online. Aisha D's portrayal of Cecilia is incredibly well done, as I quickly felt deeply empathetic and sad for her, until we come to learn more about the history of this group. Alex is another key character in the film, who Emily de Margheriti imbues with a cold callousness, which immediately had me offside with her. Again though, as the film progresses, we come to learn more about her and perhaps why she is so bitter and antagonizing towards Cecilia. As Sissy enters into the closing act of the film, the social commentary around influencer culture, online perceptions, and bullying begin to fall to the wayside. At this point in the film, the slasher gore elements come to the fore. This section of the film is perhaps the most fun, with some incredibly brutal and gory kill scenes. The use of practical effects in these moments is key to this section feeling incredibly visceral. Despite sitting in the horror thriller genre, thanks to the violence and gore, the comedy elements are also crucial to the success of Sissy. With the film's core themes centered around social media addiction, mental health, influencer culture, and the dichotomy between social media and reality, Sissy could have very easily become incredibly dark and dour. However, by inserting plenty of levity and comedy throughout the film, the message is able to sink in a little more. Overall, Sissy is a truly enjoyable B-grade slasher, with undercurrents of elevated horror and social commentary that we've seen in movies like Get Out. This film is totally worth putting on your radar to check out at this year's Sydney Film Festival. Now, to get a little bit more insight into the film, Check out my chat with Emily de Margheriti. And now a quick word from our sponsors. First up is Decorate and Dance. For them, life is a party. With the world reopening and parties now becoming much more viable, if you're hosting a party, then all of the ingredients you need for a good time start with the 3 Ds: design, decorate, and dance. You can't have a party without a theme, design, balloons, florals, and decorations, and some good tunes, dancing. The team over at Decorate and Dance can provide it all. Specializing in kids' parties, adult parties, hens nights, baby showers, corporate events, and weddings, Decorate and Dance are your one-stop shop. Book a designer, decorations, and a DJ for your party to be remembered at www.decorateanddance.com.au. Next up is LF9 Designs. Are you in need of a new logo, event posters, Twitch overlays or emotes, or perhaps even merchandise designs? Look no further than LF9 Design for all of your graphic design needs. The team at LF9 Design can create anything that you need to suit all styles. Check them out on Instagram at LF9 Design. Maison de Femmes create romantic, handmade, gold-filled jewelry for lovers and dreamers. Each piece is handmade and personally shipped by Jess Kumanovsky of Australia. If you are looking for an amazing and unique piece for a loved one, then look no further than Maison de Femmes. Maison de Femmes can be found online at maisondefemmes.com. That's MAISONDEFEMMES.com. And finally, Tegan Tag Photography. If you're ready for something a little different, ready to stray from the path of a traditional photo session, then get in touch with Tegan Tag Photography. Tegan specializes in water photography, family photo sessions, maternity shoots, and any type of photography incorporating Mother Nature. Bookings with Tegan can be made online at tegantag.com.au. That's www.teegantagg.com.au. Welcome to Pario Magazine, where I chat with individuals who have a desire to create. Today I'm joined by a movie producer and one of the lead actresses in the new thriller Sissy. Welcome to Pario Magazine, Emily de Margheriti.
Hello.
So we're here today to chat about your journey with the new film Sissy. Before we do so, are you able to give our audience a brief introduction into who Emily is off the movie set?
Sure. Well, when I'm off the movie set, I'm always trying to get back onto the movie set. So I'm either training in LA or I'm making plays, putting them on at the Sherry Theatre in LA, or I'm making short films or working towards my next like female-driven feature.
Okay. Nice and busy all the time then?
Yeah, I like to be busy.
In terms of Sissy, when did you first hear about the film?
I think it was like early 2020 when I first was emailed the script. Yeah, I got it sent by Kane and Hannah, the writers, who were also the directors of the film. Yeah, I just took a good liking to it, I suppose, during the pandemic.
Was there anything in particular about the script that made you sort of go, yes, I need to be involved in this movie?
I just think the whole like concept of like social media and I don't know, specifically Instagram, I feel like that one explored more fully, but I just find it so interesting, social media and the negative aspect of it. So I think, and the world that was created as well. I mean, I can't give spoilers, so it's really difficult to explain what I liked about it. But if you watch it at the Sydney Film Festival, you will understand why.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to see it, so it's a
Good.
very interesting movie. It dives into those concepts of social media addiction, mental health, whole influencer phenomenon. Have you had to deal with any of those sort of things personally?
Um, I think that I mean, I think that we all kind of with social media, we always like represent like we show a perspective. Like right now you're seeing like a perspective of my little box here and you don't know what's here or there or and I just think with social media, I mean, gosh, what were the ones? It was MySpace back in the day. I never got into MySpace. It was Bebo. I was into Bebo. And then what else? The Facebook, but now everyone has Facebook, but Instagram became the next thing, and then it was TikTok and Snapchat and all of that. Um, I think specifically with Instagram, I find it really fascinating because you're always putting out like your best version of yourself all the time, and um, I just think it's very difficult, especially as a young woman. I think seeing Photoshop pictures of people all the time, and you see that, and you think that that's how everything's always meant to be, and you see people posting things of them on holidays or doing all the fun things. Right? We're never going to post a picture of us, a negative or a picture where we don't look good on social media most of the time. So I think just having and seeing that it can create like body dysmorphia in a way for young women. And I think that it is a little bit unhealthy. And I think now there's a conversation more about it, which is great. But I think it is very difficult for young girls.
Yeah, I think during this whole pandemic, I think the nice thing to see is when people are sick, they are posting like, "Yes, I was sick," rather than just
Hmm.
pretending that they were healthy the
Hmm.
entire time.
Exactly. And not only that as well, right? Because you've got like news reporters in their room all of a sudden, you've got like, their bookcase and whatever and the cat going past and you're like, oh, so people are living their lives like normal humans and it's okay. So I think partly as well, COVID and seeing that as well kind of makes us relax a little bit. But definitely I think Instagram is a platform where people will post pictures with lots of filters on your face and that's difficult for young girls again because they see that and then they want to get work done to their face or they see people being really body confident all the time. But just because you're body confident in that little slice of life doesn't mean you're always feeling that way. I
Yep,
think that's important to remember.
definitely. And then obviously with Sissy, rather than allowing it to get dark and depressing by touching on all of these themes, it introduces a lot of comedy woven throughout the movie. How important do you think that
Mhm.
was to prevent it getting too dark?
It's interesting because I don't watch horror films. um, I like dark comedies. It's like my favorite genre. I just think with comedy as well, like it releases tension as well. And I think delving into that negative aspect of social media and how far it can go, I think you need that comedic relief. You need it to be a little bit satirical. Um, and they were influenced by Quentin Tarantino as well. With I can't really tell you. I can't do spoilers. I don't want to do spoilers. You will see. You will see if you watch it.
Given that you aren't a horror fan yourself, how was it being involved in this movie, and sort of did you have to watch some horror movies to get a bit of influence?
Yes, I have to watch a bunch of horror movies. I feel like acting in them is a lot of fun. I find watching them is terrifying. My imagination runs wild. But I think when I'm filming them, I know exactly what's going on. And there were even moments filming where I had some interesting experiences, but I can't say because of spoilers again. Um, where I came to terms with a lot of things because it was very dark and depressing, some of the situations. But it's nice that we can find like a comedy from that.
In
Mm.
terms of sort of the movies that you watched for inspiration, what were some of those movies?
What were some of the movies that I watched for inspiration? Well, specifically with my character Alex, I looked at Rachel McAdams as Regina George, and I looked at Helen from Bridesmaids with Rose Byrne, and what else did I? Who else did I look at? I looked at Donna Versace as well, um, and that's because of her style. Alex is very like over the top OTT. Um, so that's what I watch more so. So I wouldn't say there were horrors. So I got away with a lot. But I was forced to watch a list that the directors gave me. But it was difficult. It was painful. It was painful to watch them.
Yeah, for someone that doesn't like horror, I can't
Also,
imagine that was all that fun.
Yeah, I can watch Kill Bill though. Like I can watch films like that. I'm obsessed. Mm.
Did you have to look at any sort of social media influences as well for inspiration?
I didn't necessarily have to for my character, but in the creative process, I remember Hannah and Kane. They were talking about an influencer. She's a criminal. What is she? A criminal wellness influencer, and her name was Belle Gibson. She actually faked having cancer, and she used to sell like remedies and stuff for it, and it was a whole thing. But I think they were influenced by this influencer particularly because she was someone who really did use it for, not for good causes. And she was, preying on the weak, I suppose, in a way. So yeah, she was a massive influence for them.
And sort of without giving away spoilers, this film follows a new uh, trend that I've noticed in horror where the final girl is also the killer. Why do you think
Hmm.
this has become such a more popular storytelling technique?
I don't know why it is a popular. I don't understand why that is. It is the way that it is. I think that it's interesting though because when you watch this film, you are not sure necessarily who the antagonist is and who the protagonist is. I would like to say it's open for interpretation as well with this. Who is like whose side are you on? Because I think a lot in life as well, it's not just black and white. Um, you know, as Alex, I feel like I'm in the right.
Mhm.
um, so it just, yeah, it's open for interpretation, I suppose. But
Like that there were sort of three strong-willed women in this movie.
right, I enjoyed that as well. I think it's more realistic as well because yeah, we do have different interpretations of things, and especially because it's about a group of women and a female friendships, and things are confusing like that. Yeah, they're never, everybody has their own opinion about things, so it's not necessarily, yeah, it's not black and white. Hmm.
And then the film has some gruesome and graphic death scenes. What was it like being involved or witnessing those being filmed?
Um, God. I mean, look, the prosthetics team did an incredible job, I have to say. Scared the crap out of me half the time. Yeah, look, some some of those scenes and some of those prosthetics are terrifying. I'm just happy that I could see it in the flesh, so I knew that it wasn't real, so it wasn't as scary for me. So when I watch it, I know what I'm watching, so it's okay. There's gonna be no jump scares for me because I've already seen everything. I've acted in it, so it's all right. Um, it was challenging, very challenging. I think seeing, yeah, people decapitated, and yeah, it's not. I mean, you don't really want to see your friends like that, do you?
Mhm.
That's terrible. It's terrifying. Kind of terrifying is the best way to put it.
Did you have a particular favorite scene that you were involved in?
My favorite scene. My favorite scene I was involved in. I liked is a dream sequence, and I really liked that scene. And then there's another scene that I'm not involved in that I'm obsessed with. His name's Sean Martindale, and he's like the cop, and he is the funniest person. He's funniest human. Like you'll know what I mean when you watch the scene. It's towards the end, but he's hilarious.
Yep. And then the film has just debuted at South by Southwest. How was that
Mm.
experience?
It was exciting. It was awesome to have our world premiere in Austin. I've never been to Austin, and uh, yeah, it was incredible. It was nice seeing all our hard work just on the screen and people enjoying it and cheering people on and laughing and crying. So it was an incredible experience.
Awesome. And you mentioned at the start that the film is coming to the Sydney Film Festival this
Hmm.
year. How exciting is that for you?
So exciting! I can't wait. Now everybody in Australia can see it.
Are you going to be able to come home to be part of the festival?
That's the plan. That is the plan. I believe the festival is from the 8th to the 19th of June, but my birthday's on the 9th, so I'll be back. I'll be back and I will watch it and enjoy it with all my friends.
Perfect. Perfect birthday present.
Yeah, exactly.
And then where is the best place for people to support the film?
You can support the film by you can follow Dems Entertainment on Instagram, or you could follow This Is Acadia on Instagram. As well as if you follow the actors, you'll be able to see all updates about Sissy. And then everybody's been using the hashtag triggered. So if you type that in on Instagram, you'll see all the posts about it.
Okay, perfect. And then finally, where's the best place for people to support you personally and track your creative journey moving forward?
Well, you could follow me on social media if you dare, but I feel like it's Emily Jane DE. That's my Instagram, so you're welcome to follow me there.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much for taking the time, and good luck with the
Thank you.
release and the film, and see you at the film festival in June.
Sounds wonderful, Jamie. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for listening to the commentary booth. If you enjoyed the show, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe on podcast services and on YouTube. You can follow me on social media at JamieUpsMedia and at Pario Magazine. The Commentary Booth is a fan-funded production of Jamie Apps Media. You can support the podcast alongside our magazine, Pario Magazine, on Patreon at patreon.com/JamieAppsMedia. The following people supported at the community support group level or higher, and you cannot fathom how incredibly appreciative we are for their support. Brian and June Hart, Blake Robinson, Rena Renee, Courtney Paulson, Darren Hatcliffe, Jackson Carr, and Tracy Apps.